The unenviable task of zipping through the highlights of the 2009 budget in 15 minutes. I have 15 slides, and I can speak to each of them for 15 minutes. So forgive me if I zip through what I have to say. I'm not going to talk to all of the bullets in the slides, but they are there as placeholders for you, just to focus our minds on, or rather remind us on what exactly was proposed about a year ago. As Ernest has said, there were 4 principal focus areas, all related to the exigencies of the time, which were preservation of jobs, defreezing or unfreezing the credit markets, keeping our companies competitive, and of course, supporting individuals and families in a tough time. So all of the initiatives were banded around these four focus areas, and there were a slew of initiatives. So forgive me if I don't talk about all of them, but they're all there in this presentation. The highlight, obviously, was the jobs credit scheme, cash grant of 12% on the first $2,500 of each month's wages for the period from January 2009 to December 2009. That, as Ernest has said, got extended for another 6 months to June 2010, with reduced percentages, 6% for the 2010 March payment and 3% for the 2010 June payment. In 2009, this alone was estimated to cost $4.5 billion. And as the speakers ahead of me have said, a major initiative in the last budget. There were a couple of spur initiatives, enhancements, and forgive me, I got to look at what spur means. It doesn't roll off the tongue easily. Skills program for upgrading and resilience. That's right. And there were course fee subsidies for PMET level courses, and those were increased from 80 to 90%. And selected tertiary courses at UNISIM and the 3 other publicly funded universities were included in SPUR for the first time. Again, under the Jobs for Singaporeans bullet, there were a couple of initiatives around the Workfare Income Supplement scheme, and temporary Workfare Income Supplement special payments were made to low-income workers of an additional 50% of what they would have otherwise received in 2009, so it was increased by 50%. And the eligibility criteria for the WIS special payments was relaxed, so that more could qualify for this. And another key initiative under the Jobs for Singaporeans focus area was that the government announced that they would hire another 18,000 into the public sector over the coming 2 years, 2009 and 2010. Under the bullet stimulating bank lending, there were again a slew of initiatives. There were a couple of new programs and a couple of enhancements to existing programs. Under the Special Risk Sharing Initiative, there was a new bridging loan program to improve companies' access to working capital. And under the 2 new trade finance schemes to enable mid-sized and large exporters to obtain loans and trade insurance. There was a new loan insurance scheme plus, and there was a new trade credit insurance program. Under the enhancements to existing credit measures, the government share of risk under the LEFTS program, Local Enterprise Finance Scheme, was increased from 50% to 80%. And under the microloan program, the government share of the risk was increased from 80% to 90%. And in addition to these 2 enhancements, the maximum loan quantum per borrower group was increased from 15 million to 50 million under the Internationalization Finance Scheme. Under the 3rd bullet, enhancing business cash flow and competitiveness, in